Hello everybody, senior engineer, MBA, and investor. In today's video, I want to talk about Teladoc. All about Teladoc. I want to take a look at what Cathie Wood said about Teladoc. I want to talk about the company. I want to talk about ARK Invest's latest stance on Teladoc. I want to take a look at certain comments that were made on social media platform, and I honestly believe Teladoc will be here to shock the world for the better, right? So before we do that, before we jump into this video, of course, you guys know the drill. Like this video, hit that thumbs up, like it, destroy that like button. Really does help the channel, YouTube algorithms. You guys know how they work. If you've not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell for our videos to get to you faster. So in today's video, it's a beautiful Saturday. It's really sunny here in Toronto. Sorry, I'm not in Montreal anymore. In Toronto, it's beautiful. Hopefully, wherever you are, you're having a beautiful day as well. And obviously, this week we had lots of drama. It was bonanza earnings. Google, were below expectations. Amazon below expectation. Apple cited supply chain issues, and then obviously you had other smaller businesses, medium-sized businesses getting hit very hard due to their own issues, including Teladoc, which obviously we've covered in a previous video, I think 2 days ago, on the days of the earnings. So you can clearly watch what my reaction was at the time. I had some time to think about it, and some things have happened since then. I know it's just a couple of days later, and I want to take a look at what we're seeing here. So this is, of course, a video from CNBC, and Cathie Wood was brought on to talk about Teladoc, which, as you may remember, Teladoc is the #2 holdings company across all their funds in ARK Invest. So just as a reminder, ARK Invest bought some Teladoc stock running up to the earnings date. So last week, earlier this week, and even on the day that it was down 40%, they literally bought some, like April 28th. So they released their earnings on April 27th. On April 28th, Teladoc was bought over 200 shares. Guys, look at this, 200,000 shares plus 380,000. That's like almost 600,000 shares. That's just crazy, right? It's even more than 600. I think it's like 700. It's just so many shares, and they actually, are going big on it, right? Clearly, they're putting money where their mouth is, right? And I want to give props to Cathie Wood. So let's take a look why they think this company is still valid, right?
In the world, you bought $20 million more of Teladoc yesterday, right?
Sure. Hi, Kelly. And yes, I'd much prefer to come out at this time than to come out and be all over media when things are when stocks are soaring, because I think this is our best value add. Yes, Teladoc, very, very tough quarter. And that's particularly for investors who are quarter-to-quarter oriented. As you know, we have a 5-year investment time horizon, but as fears about inflation and interest rates have moved up, time horizons in the market have shortened to basically a quarter. And so the analysts picked apart the quarter and zoomed in on the direct-to-consumer business, which did have a shortfall. There's more competition in that space as venture capital is financing some companies who are getting into niche areas. Our point of view is that Teladoc is becoming the healthcare information backbone of the United States. It serves 16% of Americans are paid users. And whenever we look at S-curves, we are looking for that 15 to 20% range as a trend moves into that market share. That is the beginning of an S-curve. And the story is not direct to consumer for Teladoc. Certainly that was a big booster during COVID. The story here is much bigger. It's business to business. What was not mentioned, and no questions about Northwell, the New York or tri-state area hospital system that Teladoc has won, took it from another entity. And what was also not mentioned is Amazon's decision to partner with Teladoc as opposed to compete with it. The stock had been beaten up regularly over the last year as Amazon said, we're going national, we're going national. And instead, Amazon has capitulated and at least is going to partner for some healthcare services and certainly through Alexa with Teladoc.
Sure.
So I think the story here is huge. When you think about healthcare as 20% of the US economy, so a $4 trillion ecosystem, the waste there is at least 400 billion.
Sure.
We would submit most of because this healthcare information system connecting patients, doctors, insurance companies, and hospitals has not been put in place. This is a winner-take-most market, and we feel that yes, short term there was an earnings shortfall. They had to cut estimates. Admit that we're looking 5 years out. We're looking at one of the biggest stories in healthcare, a category killer during the next 5 to 10 years.
So I totally agree with Cathie Wood's statements here. So couple of things here to dig into. So clearly they're focusing on the long-term horizon. She kept mentioning 5 years. Obviously, she's stating the fact that people are missing out on the big picture, how legacy healthcare is here to be disrupted. Their big win recently in the hospital in New York, something to be very, very, very noble that they wanted and they snatched it from a competitor. But obviously there are other news such as their win with Alexa from Amazon, which actually we covered in a video. If you guys remember in a video catalog, we actually covered that news when it was leaked out. In fact, we actually covered when there were leaks about it last year. Check out my video catalog if you're really curious. But I truly understand Cathie Wood's statements here. I think she's very focusing on the long-term horizon, and I am too. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I think it's completely unfair this stock got beat down so much below its IPO range. I mean, you know, it IPO'd years ago, and it's below that IPO range. So basically, if you bought it at any time after the IPO, basically since it hit the public markets, you've been down today if you held it. And when you think about it, that makes zero sense because since their IPO date, they built partnerships, they've acquired companies like Livongo, they've obviously increased revenue. I mean, they increased revenue like 20% year over year, 25%, and they're expected to do something similar in next year. I mean, that was their latest guidance. Now, obviously, they cut some estimates here and there, but I mean, that's completely fine. I mean, but to be cut by 40%, obviously, it had to do with the goodwill impairment charge, which we covered 2 days ago in our video after their earnings this week. But anyways, clearly here, I really sided with Cathie Wood and ARK Invest. I truly believe they have something going here. If you take a look at their latest stock commentary email that they send every Friday, ARK Invest actually spoke about Teladoc, saying that it was down 40%. They wrote a couple of paragraphs here. So shares of Teladoc, world's largest global digital health platform, fell 40% today after its quarterly earnings report. For perspective, Teladoc previously traded at this level when it was cash flow negative in 2017. Compared to 2017, its visit volumes are 5 times higher, paid member count of 5 times higher, twice higher, but annual revenue is 5 times higher. Cash flow is positive. 1 in 6 Americans is a full Teladoc member. And obviously, Cathie Wood talked about the B2B, story that's completely being hidden from the public markets here. Analysts are completely forgetting about that. Actually, they're talking about the DTC here, that's high customer acquisition cost, but completely forgetting about the B2B business, which obviously Cathie Wood reiterated in that CNBC video very, very well. To measure the company's progress, we use utilization, which has increased 160% since 2019. Multi-service adoption, which has increased from 67 to 78% in the past year. One of the recent examples is a new contract with Northwell, New York's largest health system. So that said, given the tumultuous market dynamics in digital care management have served shareholders and other stakeholders better with strategy under-promising and over-delivering. So basically sandbagging, a technique that Tesla and Elon Musk have been doing in the recent years. Nonetheless, we believe that Teladoc's long-term competitive position and product differentiation are unmatched, gearing towards a superior growth for the long term. And I truly believe that. I think they're on to something here. I love those types of bold statements from ARK Invest and Cathie Wood. I mean, just, I look at what are their actions, right? They're buying the stock even when it's down 40%, right? If you take a look at the combined holdings, guys, Teladoc is obviously no longer number 2 because of this week. It has dropped to number 8, which is crazy, right? This is crazy. I mean, I can't believe, this is a story. I mean, if you told me early 2021, late 2020 that would be the story of Teladoc with ARK Invest, I wouldn't believe you. But it is what it is. Clearly, the stock got hit, but clearly you can see the cost average for all these stocks in their top 10 are negative, except Tesla, which obviously is the reason why we're even talking about ARK Invest, because they do have a reputation of success with Tesla. But the question is, can they replicate that with other stocks, namely Teladoc, which obviously you heard Cathie Wood say. She is big on Teladoc. The Teladoc is becoming the healthcare information backbone of the US and, of course, internationally, assuming they can expand and replicate that in other regions around the world. So I didn't want to end this video, guys, by going through some of the comments on a social media platform like Twitter. Look at this. Someone needs to tell Cathie Wood she's wrong with Teladoc and wrong with DNA. I think Teladoc is a huge example when management is not truthful, is not transparent about competition, one-time expenses and headwinds. Teladoc was not good. Looks like I put my trust on someone who I shouldn't have trusted. Cathie Wood has lost investors over $2.7 billion. Okay, bottom line on Teladoc, held for now. Okay, this guy's explained it. I hate these types of tweets. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, just write out your post. Like, why are you putting a picture? Like, this is like celebrity stuff. They always do that, which is so weird. Just put your tweet. You're a human. You're not a robot. Teladoc is down 48%. Seems legit. I clearly remember when many on FinTwit thought that Teladoc was still interested at almost $300. Now they're at $30. Where are they down to one name out of respect? And I will say that guy is actually right. There were a lot of people at the time that were pushing Teladoc up. Obviously, they were back holding, including right now. Many people are back holding. Teladoc is heading for a 90% discount post-pandemic. This was pre-earnings, so clearly this guy got it right. There was someone that made a joke, and there was someone that made a joke. I forgot, but I can't find it. But it's something like all Teladoc shareholders will probably be a Teladoc user based on the stock's performance in a recent times. So, and then you had a couple of guys, such as myself too, that actually are sort of thinking otherwise, right? Look at Biotech 2K1, which obviously is no stranger of this channel. Teladoc is going to turn over more than 50% of outstanding shares in a single day. That suggests a washout. I would not be surprised if someone doesn't take this as a take-out target, such a cheap price at a $2 billion in annual sales. And Biotech actually followed up during that day and yesterday, stating that they had bought some Teladoc, considering its low valuation at $2 billion annual sales. Teladoc as a whole is extremely difficult to copy individually, not so much. Management admit they were facing tougher competition than expected than individual point solutions. Sounds like Netflix to me. But there's so many comments on Teladoc, guys. This was the guy. This is the Harley Carroll. If you own Teladoc, you may be a Teladoc user in the next few hours. Thoughts and prayers. Yeah, I think this is what I'm seeing here, and that's what I want to boil my video to, right, guys? I mean, the uniqueness from their product bread. There's a million different areas. Yeah, so Dylan obviously supporting Teladoc here. So, and I truly vibe with him. But obviously, lots of naysayers. A lot of people just destroying Teladoc, right? Lots of people making fun of ARK investors, selling Tesla and buying Teladoc. Teladoc, awful quarter. Management lied about the Q4 call by rising margin, guide confidence. I'm out at a large loss. So obviously, some people pulled out. So obviously, right now, guys, the sentiment is very negative. It's very clear to me that there are a lot of naysayers about this company. And obviously, the stock has been hit hard. Right? It's trading around in the 30s, well below its IPO, and this is completely unacceptable in times where lots of stocks have tripled, quadruple, penta up, I don't know, 10x. Teladoc as a tech company has failed to even increase its valuation since its IPO, punishing its current stakeholders, its previous stakeholders, and of course its employees that obviously has vested interests in making sure that the stock goes up. I'm just gonna end this video by stating that I don't know if this is like in me. I don't know what it is. There are certain things I've thought about over the recent days, and when people go in a certain direction, just like I showed you on social media and everything you're seeing around the world about, you know, the current events, you know, the macro environment issues, Fed rates after Russia invading Ukraine, all these issues that are legitimate issues, that are extremely important issues to address and to look at. I sort of tend to look at the other way in a sense where I'm looking at opportunities, right? And as opposed to looking at fear. And I think a lot of people are just fearful of Teladoc right now. I think a lot of people think this company will bankrupt. Let me tell you guys this, and I'll end this video like this. A lot of people down on Teladoc. I heard Tom Nash destroy Teladoc. I heard those guys, all those guys on YouTube destroying Teladoc. I'm going to look, and there's something in me that tells me this story is not over. There will be a turn of tides, and you guys will remember this video when it happens. I bet you will remember it, right? I can't predict the future. I can only speculate. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Clearly, I was wrong a few months ago when I was saying Teladoc hit the bottom at 90s, low hundreds. And I might be very wrong still. Or I might not be, right? I might not be. I think I am siding with Cathie Wood here. I'm siding with ARK Invest. I think they're here to disrupt a legacy healthcare system. People think it's just another Zoom for doctors. They clearly don't understand there's regulations, their licenses, their permits, their limited talent pool. There are so many things that are into play here. Just like how Uber is just an app to push your button to get a driver in front of you. Just like how Airbnb is just opening up your homes to another stranger that you could probably communicate in an email format. Just like how Zoom was just another Teams or just another Skype. Or just like how Slack or Teams was just another IRC chat. Or just like how Tesla is just another vehicle on 4 wheels, right? Just a battery on 4 wheels, right? Or just like how, you know, Amazon was just another site that you could just spin off from like a free web builder, whatever it was called at the time, GeoCities, whatever. And you can, you know, sell products there, or eBay, right? Or just like how, you know, all these companies, right? And Netflix is just another site, another YouTube, right? It's just all those naysayers. I've always heard it. And I don't think it's any different for Teladoc. And, you know, I know there's a lot of rah-rah here in this video. It's not a lot of science that I'm talking about specifically. But I think it's important sometimes to push back and look at the reactions around the world. And I think as an investor, and this is what this channel's always been about, right? Talking to investors, making sure you live better lives for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your surroundings, just making the world a better place. And you ask this question, right? Is Teladoc making the world a better place? And I truly believe so. That's my opinion, right? Whether or not you agree with me or not, leave me in the comments below what you guys think about Teladoc, about this video, about what's going on in the market, specifically about this company. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are having a beautiful Saturday. Like this video if you found value, subscribe if you're not, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.